If you want to dominate your Valorant, then one of the aspects you have to think about is your agent composition. But what exactly is the best agent you can pick that will help you have the best odds of winning? Although the agent pool is still relatively small in Valorant, Riot has done a really good job of making every agent viable to a certain extent, which makes it tough for the players to know which agent they should choose. When selecting an agent, the map is arguably the most important aspect to consider after, of course, picking the agents you're most comfortable with. In fact, the map may even be a bigger factor than comfort, as the agents you're comfortable with may not be great on a certain map. No matter how good you are with that agent, you could actually make more of an impact with a different agent that you have less experience with. So let's break this down for you. Here are the very best agent compositions for every map currently in Valorant.
Hey guys, King here. Just as a quick disclaimer, we'll have a full guide for agents on the new map Fracture coming out soon. We figured since it's such a new map, we should give it some time to see how the agent compositions shape out, and then give you our take on it. I'll give it back to Ben here though so he can get into the video.
First up, we have Bind, and the agent comp we've selected for this map is Raze, Sage, Skye, Sova, and Astra. Raze is actually only the second most popularly picked agent on this map, with the first being taken by Jett, but the win rate with Raze is significantly higher than with Jett, with a 57.8% win rate to Jett's mere 45.3%. We believe there are two particular reasons for this. The first being that Raze's mobility is much better suited for this than Jett, especially with the recent nerf to Jett where she can no longer dash past tripwires. Jett doesn't actually have that great a way of being able to enter the site. With her dashes, Jett can only make it to the middle of B site, versus with Raze, who can double satchel all the way to the back of site. If you've learned how to double satchel while taking out Showstopper, you're almost guaranteed a kill each time if your team is covering your back. This, along with Raze's Boombot ability, can single-handedly clear Hooker. There's more information and ways to entry compared to with Jett. On the A site, the two agents are fairly similar, although Raze is able to send her utility through the teleporter to help defend Hooker if need be. It's like being in two places at once, so the extra firepower and clearance that Raze can provide for B site is what puts her up a notch. Sage is a pretty standard agent to pick on Bind. There's nothing fancy about her kit here. Like Raze, she can send slow orbs through teleporter to defend B site, but really her wall is just solid, no matter where she puts it on this map. The entry points for both A and B site are a perfect fit for barrier orb. You can place it in Hooker, Octagon, Shower, a short, all of which will stall opponents appropriately, and with the narrow choke points, the slow orbs will slow enemies even further, giving plenty of time for your team to rotate. You'll notice a pattern with the selected agents, and that's that most of them can send informational abilities through teleporter. Skye is no exception here. Her Trailblazer can really shine on this map to gather information through the A site or to go through to check out what Hooker and B short look like. Skye's flashes also can be used to follow up if enemies are found. Again, this can be sent through teleporter if need be, allowing her to greatly assist her B teammates while being on the A site. So being able to essentially be two places at once is op on Bind. Sova and Astra are our final two picks for Bind. Both these agents are highly picked in their respective categories in the most recent EU and NA Challengers playoffs. And what do you know, Sova's abilities can go through the teleporter too, which means a fourth agent that can help both sites at once. Now Astra doesn't have anything fancy that can go through teleporter, but she does have the ability to put her stars globally throughout the map. Particularly with Bind, where enemies can use teleporter to rotate quickly, Astra really is the best agent who can respond quickly and delay time for defenders to rotate before attackers can properly set up for the plant. Astra's ultimate is also incredibly powerful on this map, as it has the potential to block off the sound of the teleporter, meaning attackers and defenders can sneakily rotate to another site without the enemy knowing what hit them. The wide presence that each of these agents can provide is what makes this the most optimal composition on Bind. Speaking of optimal, if you want to learn more optimal ways to play every map, then you're going to want to head over to SkillCapped.com for even more detailed guides. For example, if you're a Cypher main, we have a whole course dedicated to showing you the best setups on every map. So if you want to learn more about how to conquer your opponents with even nerdier tricks, then don't hesitate. The link will be provided in the description below. Moving on, we have Haven, and our team composition of choice is Jett, Skye, Astra, and Sova, and with our last agent being Killjoy or Cypher. We actually found Killjoy and Cypher to both be incredibly useful agents on a map like Haven. Both agents are great for helping watch the flank, and both agents can hold their own onto either the A or C sites with their respective abilities. Pick rates and win rates were relatively similar across the board, which is why you can't go wrong with either one. With that being said, we don't recommend going for both of these agents at once though. While that does provide a lot of defensive power, it doesn't allow much room to attack or open up sites, or have adequate abilities to play retake. Haven is practically Jett's playground. There are a multitude of boosted positions and aggressive pushes that Jett can utilize, along with the fact that these positions are very safe to play on. For example, you can boost up onto the B containers, C containers, or onto the boxes outside A short, which by the way you don't even need to use abilities to get up onto, as long as you can simply glide on over. No other agent is able to take advantage of these off-angle positions like Jett, which is why her pick rate and win rate is incredibly high on Haven. With a map as big as Haven, where players will really be trying to bait out rotations, having agents who can gather information is key. Skye and Sova do an incredible job of clearing out areas to make it easier for the team to position themselves. If an area is clear, you can take it over safely on attack, or you can rotate more players elsewhere as a defender. Similarly with Bind, Astra is by far the best agent that can react the quickest to a push. Again, with her ability to put stars anywhere she wants, regardless of where she's at. Enemies pushing onto C while you're on A, no problem at all. Unlike Omen and Brimstone, who only have smokes, Astra's stars can concuss or pull players, making them vulnerable and easy targets to finish off. When an experienced Astra enters Haven, you're going to have a very hard time trying to hit a site or defend a site. Going into our third map, we have Breeze, and through our research on team compositions, we found astounding favoritism towards Killjoy or Cypher, Jett, Skye, Sova, and Viper. Cypher and Killjoy are particularly good at defending the B site, as they are able to hold down tunnels and B main together. That, along with Cypher's camera and Killjoy's turret, can help supplement their other abilities to successfully block players from entering the site. With either of these two agents, you'll be able to more reliably place more players on your team towards A, halls, and middle. Viper is undoubtedly a favourite here, with a staggering 100% pick rate in competitive play in recent tournaments. Her ultimate is perfect for blocking out a choke point or defending a spike plant, and her wall is arguably the best ability for blocking vision and allowing attackers to safely get onto a site. With other controllers like Brimstone, Omen, and Astra, there aren't really any good specific spots to smoke out since the sites are so wide, making it hard to cover everything. This is why the Viper wall is so much more effective and really the only good controller to use here. Jett is another highly picked agent with pick rates between 75% and 83% in the EU and NA regions. She's an agent that can really shine on large maps like Breeze, where she can take advantage of her mobility to go for what would typically be a dangerous play, yet she's able to make it safe with her dashes and smokes. The normally wide open areas that would be riskier to go through are more viable with Jett being around on the map. And with Skye and Sova, global informational abilities are of huge importance to make it easier for you to rotate or push the right site. Skye's ultimate is particularly good to know where enemies are so you can properly position yourself. Plus her Skye flashes have a very high chance of blinding players considering how open the map is. Nothing too new needs to be said about Sova, his abilities are solid for information gathering here. For our team comp on Ascent, we have Omen, Sova, Reyna, Killjoy, and KO. Omen makes for a really good rat on Ascent, as there are multiple positions he can utilize his ultimate to mess with enemies. Particularly, the most common spots Omen will use his ultimate is at Boathouse or at Defender Attacker Spawn to flank. This opens the possibility for enemy teams to get flanked if a good Omen ult is used where they have to check both their front and backs at the same time. That, along with the possibility of making a quick plant rotation to throw enemies off guard and give you quite a good few seconds to set yourself up for the post plant. If you've played Ascent, you're probably more than wary of Sova's capabilities with defending the B sites. I'll break it down to a few easy steps. Dark Garage, and if the enemies are found, spray through the wall with your Odin. If the dart doesn't find anyone, no big deal, you still have your Owl drone if you need to tag someone. Sova's abilities can single-handedly lock down the B garage entryway for attackers, along with his dart also being very useful for spamming down hell if you needed to rotate over to retake the A site. KO is making his first appearance in this guide. With how the spike sites are designed, his 0-point ability and ultimate are capable of covering a large portion of both A and B, leaving enemies without abilities to use as KO and his team goes for a retake. Particularly with the B site, enemies defending on the site itself are going to find themselves in quite a bit of trouble. It's a similar situation with Killjoy's ultimate, making her a great agent on Ascent, as well as along with the multitude of sneaky setups and turret placements that she can utilize on both the A and B sites. Now there aren't any fancy boost spots that Jett can use on here, however again with these larger types of maps, Jett is really able to shine by taking these big peaks and picks that are actually safe since she can easily dash away. Especially if she has an operator, Jett is great for information gathering and getting the man advantage on the map. 2 more maps to go and now we have Icebox. This is where we've seen teams really spice things up, particularly with the Reyna, Jett duelist combo and the other 3 most commonly picked agents of Viper, Sova, and Killjoy. Reyna is an absolute menace on this map. With how many elevated platforms there are on both the A and B sites, Reyna can really go for an aggressive, unorthodox peaks where she can snag a pick and then safely dismiss to safety. Asuna and Tens from 100 Thieves and Sentinels do a particularly good job with just hyper-aggressive plays that completely catch players off guard. Jett is no different, where she can essentially perform the same exact plays, but with her dash instead of dismiss. With these 2 agents combined with players with aggressive styles, you'll find yourself getting picks left and right. Cypher is an okay pick on this map to defend the A site, however he really struggles on B, as there aren't really any good trips that can be placed there to halt enemies down. Because of this, we have to go with Killjoy, as her nano swarms and turret can be used much more effectively on both sides of the map, or even in the middle as an extra body to scout out enemy locations. And similar to on Breeze, Icebox is a huge map with multiple choke points. While controllers like Brimstone and Omen are viable, the Viper's full kit really shines more on here. Especially if you know lineups with Viper's Molotov, every ability can be used to defend or attack a site, which is why you have to go with her on this map. If you aren't convinced, the stats don't lie, with Viper having a 100% pick rate in the EU and NA on Icebox in the Challengers playoffs. Similar with Sova, again, with large maps where you'd have to do big rotations, the information that he provides to the team is a big help on knowing where players are and where to best position you and your team. Last but not least, we have Split, and the composition we recommend players going for is Raze, Viper, Sage, Astra, and Skye. If you know how to double satchel, then Split is going to be Raze's playground. There are a large number of simple satchel plays that can be made on Split. Some of the most useful and simple ones you can do include satcheling up onto rafters and into heaven for a surprise peek, or double satcheling from B heaven to the back of the site. Pack this in with Showstopper and you're guaranteed a kill or two here, which creates tons of space for the rest of your team to come in. With how narrow some of the choke points are on Split, Skye's abilities really shine. Her flashes and Trailblazer make it easy to scout out enemies and grab picks on blinded players, and her ultimate is also quite useful for being an annoying nuisance to shoot down mid-push. They'll be stuck shooting down your abilities while you'll be busy shooting their bodies for kills. Sage's Barrier Orb is essentially a must-have for defending middle on Split. Otherwise, the enemy team will easily be able to split push onto the A or B sites. Sage's Wall and Slow Orbs can be effectively used from heaven to protect both mid and B garage if need be, which will significantly slow down enemies and allow your team to rotate before they can go for their planned push. Likewise, her wall can be placed effectively through almost every choke point on the map, making it a highly desired ability to have on both defense and offense. Astra and Viper's walls can really shine on Split, as they can adequately block major areas of the map to allow for easy pushes onto a site. We've found pros and high-ranked players really enjoying a combination of the two agents, with Viper really emphasizing on blocking areas and Astra smoking off the gaps that Viper leaves while also having stars to concuss and pull relatively common parts of the map. Again, a good Astra will be able to perfectly time these abilities and allow her and her team to peek and grab easy frags that will certainly be annoying for enemy teams to deal with. That's all we have time for in this video. We hope you took something away and learned from today's guide. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get more premium guides just like this, with one goal in mind: helping you become a better player. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next video, and good luck out there.